I'm fixing this bed up and I'm going to show you this bed that we fixed that was hydrophobic, and now I'm going to fix this one. Just going to revisit this and show you the condition of it. How are we going, everybody? What a glorious day today, eh? Well, I had a fun day yesterday. Can you tell the difference? Have a look at this good looking face, eh? Unshaven, swollen on one side. Play caution or take caution when you're out there in the garden, folks. Even if you've got your own beehive, sometimes they get a little bit nasty. Mine, apparently, because I'm pushing a mower, they don't like the smell of petrol fumes, and one got crazy and hit me on the ear, and I didn't realise it actually stung me. I thought it was just buzzing around until about a minute later I realised I went like that. I thought, oh no, the sting's still in there. And so that little sting's pumping away, put all the lovely fluids into my system. My neck swelled out completely. I got bumps all over me. I looked like the Elephant Man. Went inside, had a cold shower, went to bed and woke up 10 hours later. I recovered in the course of all that. You know, the family coming, you're right. I love you. Thank you so much. If you watch these videos, but I don't think they do. Anyway, back on this topic. Raised garden beds. A while back, this is a bed that we had that was completely hydrophobic, and this one here was bordering that as well. You can see they're both empty because I've taken everything out, obviously. I've cut everything to the ground. That has some crizies growing in the middle of them, and also, what do they call that stuff that tastes like soap for some people? Coriander, that's it. That's also got coriander, and I found it's a very fibrous, strong root system in the coriander plant because I've cut them to the ground. But before we go there, let's look at this one here. This is one that had the similar problems, dehydrated, water wasn't penetrating. We layered it, we put more compost on top, we broke it all up. I used my fingers to mix it, and we've got a mulch on top. I've got some, I think they're spaghetti gourds that are growing there. I just can't remember what seeds I had in my hand at the time. They may be big Jap pumpkins, I don't know. I can't remember, but anyway, we'll see what comes up there. We've put a little, struggling eggplant, and I've got a couple of kale, but before I finish out the rest of it, let's have a look at the soil underneath. Untouched, you can see that. I haven't mucked around with it. All right, they all get the same amount of water every day. Let's crack it open. Oh yeah, oh, look at that, hey? Look at that. That's what, 4 weeks ago? Full of life already. They're all back up there. We've got the twigs in there. That's the layering. See the mulch? That's the layer below. And now the worms are there. Literally 25, 30 worms in that little, well, I won't say spade, garden fork's worth, little handful. All right, put them back in there. So, the results, the prognosis, whatever you call that, it's worked, hasn't it? Layering. If you don't know how I've done it, I'm going to do one now quickly for you, and you can look at all our previous videos. We've got 1,000+ online that you can see all the different types of garden beds that I'm mucking around with. And these are little trials that I do, and sometimes we win. Most times we are winning, and sometimes we lose. But in this case here, success in turning a garden bed that's fibrous into a garden bed that's full of life. Let's start. Have a look at this. Look, this is what I'm talking about. That's how the bed next door was. Look at that, dry. I actually sat here watering it by hand for a good 15 minutes. It's gone nowhere. See all those roots in there? That's exactly how the bed was next door, and you saw the difference. So first thing we do is get your garden fork or hand fork and crack it open. Don't turn it, just crack it open. Look, we've got a dwarf tomato. It's only become a dwarf because it can't grow its roots. So instead of turning over the entire bed, we're cracking it open so we can get the water to penetrate down a bit deeper than what it does otherwise, sitting on the surface and running down the sides of the walls. You can see how dehydrated the ground is below, even though it looks wet on top. That's an indicator there, cupping of the leaves and the wilting, dehydration. So now, once we've cracked it open, let's add some water. And this time we want it to go down in through those little openings that we've created with the hand fork. Look at that, it's already soaking in. See that? Going straight down. I can tell you before, I should have shown you when I was watering, it was just sitting on the surface. Yeah, these are more holes here. Going straight in. This is the minimum that you need to do when it comes to rehydrating your garden bed. If all else fails and you don't want to turn the soil over, well, there's nothing else you really can do. If you don't turn the soil over, you can only crack it open. And by cracking it open just like this, aeration, soil, 50% organic matter, 25% air, 25% moisture. So let's do the sums quickly. Let's say this is a cubic meter. So half of that is all the soil matter, the minerals, the rocks and the mulch that we've got in there. 25% should be air, which we haven't got in here, and the other 25% technically should be approximately 250 litres of water. We'd be lucky if we've got 2.5 litres of water sitting at the bottom of this. That's how dehydrated it is, and I can guarantee you once it starts soaking in like a sponge, like that, it's going to work all its way down, and that's where the life comes and kicks into gear. So crack it open and hydrate it properly before the next stage. Is it wet? Hardly yet. Still need a lot more water than that. That would be about 6 litres so far. It's been a couple of minutes so far, folks, and we're getting the moisture in. Look at that. It's dripping everywhere. So it is soaking in by just simply cracking it open. You don't want to do any more than that. If you can't afford to, you know, for whatever the reason, just crack your soil open. Garden fork or hand fork is the key to it. Don't turn it over. It looks a semi-moist or semi-dry. Does that make any sense? These are old bags again, folks. They've been sitting out in the bloody hot sun probably 3 weeks. Anyway, we're putting them in here. Semi-moist, semi-dry, I'm right. You've got some wet spots and dry spots. What I'm putting in here is our planting mix. Exactly what I did in the bed next door, and it is a little bit moist. Only 2 bags, so half a bag for each side. Now I reckon I've put some seeds in here somewhere down deep below there now. You reckon they're going to germinate? Maybe not. That's okay, we've got plenty more seeds. This one's got to be moist, it's bloody heavy. Oh yeah, she's a wet. Have a look at this beauty. How cool is this? This is what I love. Now, I reckon it needs a little bit more texture. I might just keep adding more, you know, mulch into our... And actually, no, it doesn't need it. Once you add your mulch on top, that breaks down and that goes through the whole mix itself. So that's nice and moist, this one. All right. So spread that out evenly. It's about 50 ml covering on top. No more than that. So you could almost get away with 1 bag if you want, if you just want to top dress it. But 2 bags is what I like putting in minimum. Now you're probably wondering, hey, you're going to put any of your famous superfood Vasili in your black grit? Well, no, I'm not, because it's already in the bag. That's what it comes with. It comes with black grit, superfood, worm castings, activated charcoal. It's got everything in here, so you don't really need to do anything. It's almost like a fertilizer, top dress / fertilizer for your garden, the natural way. So now all we're going to do is give it another hydration. More really just to wash my hands like that. The light's soaking over everywhere. And you know it's already wet. You saw the lumpy bits. And it's soaking in beautifully. If it wasn't soaking in, and if you've got a bag that's dehydrated, you know, it's become quite aggressive, you know, abrasive, I should say, with the water, so pooling up on top, all you got to do is run your fingers in and do this. Little swirls, figure 8 if you like. Or if you don't want to do it this way, you can tip it in a barrow, add some water and mix it with a little spade or hand trowel, whatever you like, and then you can put it back into your garden. Me personally, I don't mind getting my fingers a little bit dirty, but obviously if you're worried about all those things, you know, you read on the bags and the labels, well, put your gloves on. Play it safe. What I do is what I do. The tips are what I'm sharing. And now for the good stuff. And now for the good stuff, folks. Now this has only been soaking probably a couple of hours. This is pea straw that I'm using here, but I did have some in here earlier. I used it in the beds next door and all that, but there might be still some underneath here. See the darker stuff? That's been in there for a few weeks actually. You know, I'm constantly adding to this mixture. Yeah, the birds are here. Oh, we're in trouble this year. We've got lorikeets, we've got rosellas, we've got all the bloody birds. My fruit are gone. All right, so this is the old stuff that's been in there for weeks on end. You can see it down there. See how sort of dark it's gone and soft and mushy? And that's what you really want at the end of the day. That's the most, obviously. But 2 weeks is a long time to be waiting for your mulch to soak. A couple of hours, 3 or 4 hours if you can, is good. And what this does, it's not just moisture and discoloration in there. Yes, it's part of the mulch, but it's also the Eco Butch and Liquid Gold. biostimulants, and what I mean by that is you're stimulating life in the mulch. You're activating it so that it starts to break down, and you want it to break down, become a food source. You want it to be a blanket, also a food source, and retain the moisture and the life, and so the worms will come up and all the composting creatures will start coming in there, feeding off that, not off your plants. Snails will attack your plants, caterpillars will get there because they're large creatures, and they do find their way there. No matter how healthy your garden is, you'll always get one or two or more getting into your garden. So always watch out for those bigger creatures, the critters that is, but all the small stuff and the composting creatures, even the earwigs and the butchie boys, I've got them in my garden here and there, but I don't see them doing any damage because there's enough food within the soil to feed them, to leave your good plants alone. And I suppose that's the way it works. They decompose and eat all the scrap on the ground. And if there's not enough on the ground, they're going to eat your plants. I'll tell you, this is not for the faint-hearted, that's for sure. If you don't like the smell of crap, you're certainly not going to like touching it. And if you're wondering what this little blue unit here is, it's our grow stick or grow bud that energizes the soil. And we've done a trial on that, and you can see that it actually does generate some voltage into the soil, which helps the plants grow quicker. Twice as fast, twice as healthy. So you just stick one in there and forget about it, literally. And there you have it, folks. I've just finished mulching, just finished washing my hands. That's how you top dress a garden bed. In my books, that is. If you want to give this a go, if you've got a dehydrated bed or it's very fibrous with roots, crack it open, top dress it, mulch it. You don't have to use, if you're using our planting mix, you don't have to put any other fertilizer on top, and you're stimulating it by the liquid fertilizer that we've got in the mulch, so that's soaking through. Again, you don't have to do anything more because we've already hydrated everything, and that's hydrated on top. Now you can get our planting mix and all our other goodies on our website, vasilisgarden.com. We've got our Christmas special on, which is up to 80% off in a huge range, and we're running a few secret sales, so look out for those as well. If you don't know what they are, well, subscribe to our newsletter and you'll get a morning reminder of what secret sales coming up. It doesn't tell you what product, but it gives you a huge discount. So yeah, we're doing some of that stuff as well. And this Saturday, Sunday, I'll be on Radio 3AW. I'll remind you again tomorrow, but I'll also be going to Seville, the outlet in Seville, which is Sarah, who runs that there. She's got all these wonderful seedlings. She's growing all our plugs, so you'll be able to get some seedlings as well. She's giving away some stock. We're doing some freebies as well with the superfood. And there's the Christmas hamper, so much happening here. $500 Christmas hamper, so shop by this Sunday midnight and you go in the draw for a chance to win a $500 garden hamper, which will be great for this Christmas to put under the tree. Check it all out at vasilisgarden.com. From me, Vasili, Maresi, see you tomorrow.